If I hadn't run away, he'd have done me to death. Did you do something to make him angry? The prince responded, studying the millionaire in the lambskin coat with some special curiosity. But though there might well have been something noteworthy in the million itself and in receiving an inheritance, the prince was surprised and intrigued by something else. Besides, Rogojin himself, for some reason, was especially eager to make the prince his interlocutor, though the need for an interlocutor seemed more mechanical than moral, somehow more from distraction than from simple-heartedness, from anxiety, from agitation, just to look at someone and wag his tongue about something. It seemed he was still delirious, or at least in a fever. As for the clerk, the man simply hovered over Rogojin, not daring to breathe, catching and weighing every word as if searching for diamonds. Angry, yes, he was angry, and maybe rightly, Rogojin replied, but it was my brother who really got me. About my mother there's nothing to say, she's an old woman, reads the Menon, sits with the old crones, and whatever brother Senka decides, so it goes. But why didn't he let me know in time? We understand that, sir. True, I was unconscious at the time. They also say a telegram was sent. But the telegram happened to come to my aunt. And she's been widowed for 30 years and sits with the Holy Fool's 9 from morning till evening. A nun, or not a nun but worse still. She got scared of the telegram and took it to the police station without opening it, and so it's been lying there ever since. Only Konev, Vasily Vasilyich, rescued me. He wrote about everything. At night my brother cut the gold tassels off the brocade cover on the old man's coffin. They cost a whole lot of money, he says. But for that alone he could go to Siberia if I want, because that's a blasphemy. Hey, you, scarecrow. He turned to the clerk. What's the law? Is it a blasphemy? A blasphemy. A blasphemy. The clerk agreed at once. Meaning Siberia? Siberia. Siberia. Straight off to Siberia. They keep thinking I'm still sick, Rogojin continued to the prince, but without saying a word, secretly, I got on the train, still sick, and I'm coming. Open the gates, brother Semyon Semyonich. He said things to the old man about me, I know it. And it's true, I really irritated the old man then, on account of Nastasia Philippovna. That's my own doing. Sin snared me. On account of Nastasia Philippovna? The clerk said obsequiously, as if realizing something. You don't know her. Rogozhin shouted at him impatiently. Or maybe I do. The clerk replied triumphantly. Well, now. As if there's so few Nastasia Philippovnas. And what a brazen creature you are, I tell you. I just knew some creature like him would cling to me at once. He continued to the prince. Or maybe I do know her, sir. The clerk fidgeted. Lebedev knows. You, your highness, are pleased to reproach me, but what if I prove it? It's the same Nastasia Philippovna on account of whom your parent wanted to admonish you with a blackthorn stick, and Nastasia Philippovna is Barashkov. She's even a noble lady, so to speak, and also a sort of princess, and she keeps company with a certain Totsky, Afanasy Ivanovitch, exclusively with him alone, a landowner and a big capitalist, a member of companies and societies, and great friends on that account with General Epanchin. Aha, so that's how you are. Rogozhin was really surprised at last. Pa, the devil, so he does know. He knows everything. Lebedev knows everything. I, your highness, spent 2 months driving around with Alexashka Liachov, and also after your parents' death, and I know everything, meaning every corner and back alley, and in the end not a step is taken without Lebedev. Nowadays he's abiding in debtor's prison, but before that I had occasion to know Arments, and Coralie, and Princess Patsky, and Nastasia Philippovna, and I had occasion to know a lot more besides. Nastasia Philippovna? Arshi and Liachov. Rogozhin looked at him spitefully, his lips even turned pale and trembled. And nothing. And nothing. Nothing at all. The clerk caught himself and quickly hurried on. That is, Liachov couldn't get her for any amount of money. No, it's not like with Arments. There's only Totsky. And in the evening, at the Bolshoi or the French theater, she sits in her own box. The officers say all kinds of things among themselves, but even they can't prove anything. There's that same Nastasia Philippovna, they say, and that's all, but concerning the rest, nothing. Because there's nothing to say. That's how it all is, Rogozhin scowled and confirmed gloomily. Zalyashev told me the same thing then? That time, Prince, I was running across Nevsky Prospect in my father's 3-year-old coat, and she was coming out of a shop, getting into a carriage. Burned me right through. I meet Zalyashev, there's no comparing me with him, he looks like a shopkeeper fresh from the barber's, with a lorgnette in his eye, while the old man has us flaunting tarred boots and eating meatless cabbage soup. That's no match for you, he says, that's a princess, and she's called Nastasia Philippovna, family name Barashkov, and she lives with Totsky, and now Totsky doesn't know how to get rid of her, because he's reached the prime of life, he's 55, and wants to marry the foremost beauty in all Petersburg.